host for, and I have a special guest here, Lori Kaplan, and she's an amazing individual, and she's got a heart as big as the whole United States. And I share that, and I don't say that lightheartedly, no pun intended. I say that with authenticity, and that's what this imagination is all about. It's awakening that deep spirit within us, and how to express that in a world that is desperately hungry for authenticity and integrity. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to let Lori share a little bit about her, what she's up to, and why she's here.
Well, thanks, Stanley. It's really great to be here with you, and I appreciate you taking the time to help me share my message about imagination and what I'm doing. Something that's outside of any box that I probably ever imagined. So I've been accepted into the Gaucho Derby, which is a 500-kilometer, 10-day horse race in Patagonia, Argentina. And I'm one of 40 riders that were accepted. Probably between 200 and 300 people applied. And this is, I believe, the third running of this race.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yes. That's quite a prestigious invitation. Out of 300 applicants, you were one of 40.
Yeah, I think between 200 and 300. I'm not sure the number exactly, but yeah. So the group who runs this race, the master group is called the Adventurists, and I believe they're out of England. And then the subgroup are the Equestrianists. And they've been running a race in Mongolia called the Mongol Derby for over a decade now. And that's a 10,000 kilometer, 12-day race through the steppes of Mongolia. I guess you ride the path of Genghis Khan. So sounds kind of amazing. So when I wanted to take on this challenge, because I woke up one day and felt called to do this, actually from a book I read, but I looked on here and I saw the Mongol Derby, and then I saw the Gaucho Derby, and that I've always wanted to ride horses in Patagonia. So that's what started that.
So you're saying that you put this out there in your brain, and you set an intention to do this, not knowing when the opportunity would come up.
Yeah, it's just always been on my list of things to experience during this lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was the idea? What was your imagination? I mean, as you imagined this, okay.
So, well, a couple steps back, I've got to go backwards a bit. So two big pieces that really got me to where I am now. So I'm a dietitian and an epigenetic coach. So I look at your genetics to see what's the best lifestyle plan for you? How can we precision plan you so you can really live the way your body wants to, and then make it really easy. So it's just the foundation of you. I had my genes done in probably 2017, was in a rough place in my life, and bit by bit followed what they wanted and was able to move from a very difficult situation to a place of amazingness. And so I'm living by what my genes want me to do, essentially. And living long, creating my life, businesses. And then I read this book called The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. Okay. A couple of years ago, he wrote, just in the state that we're just far too comfortable. And it's hurting our health. It's hurting our mental health. It's hurting our ability to live life at its fullest. And he did a thing in Alaska, a 5-week caribou hunting trip, and it's based on this Japanese principle called the Mizagi. And there's 2 tenets around the Mizagi. One is you have a 50% chance of completing it, so it's got to be hard, and you don't want to die.
Say that last part again.
You don't die.
50% chance to finish and
Don't die.
don't die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's a real motivated
Yeah.
incentive, isn't it? Yeah.
It's got to be really hard. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical feat. It could be something that you need to change in your mindset, something that's that hard. When we do hard things that we don't want to do,
Yes.
necessarily, we can increase the function of our brain.
Oh my gosh, you are singing my song. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Increase the function of our brain, then we get to live this life in a more fun way and satisfying way. Not always fun, but satisfying.
Okay. So when you do the hard things that you don't want to do, so what was that? How did that correlate with you getting into this race?
Yeah. So it's very expensive. The entrance fee is very expensive. You've got the fee, and a lot of that fee, it's quite beautiful. It goes to the ranchers, the gauchos, who provide our horses, let us ride across their land, feed us here and there, although most of it we're camping on our own, and really supporting the local economy. So the money has a really great purpose. Then I've got training fees, gear. I had to buy a lot of gear, and then travel. So it was a chunk. So that was something to overcome. Could I do it? I've never ridden endurance riding. I've ridden horses for most of my life and done a lot of different things, but I've never ridden this way. Leaving my farm. I have a farm I have to leave and make sure that's taken care of. I've got 50 animals here and buildings to be looked after. So that's another thing. And just the mindset, it's survival.
So what I'm hearing is that when you act upon your imagination, it's not going to be comfortable. And this book called Comfort Crisis.
Yes.
And I've heard it said, and I really love this. The quickest pursuit of death is being comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree with that any more than that simple statement, because comfort is a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what we think we want, but it does not do us service. It's a great disservice.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So doing this hard thing, changing your brain, what has been the transformation? What has been the awakening that has taken place by this imaginable thought process that you've been thinking about this for a long time, even before you knew it existed.
Yeah.
And before it even existed, because you said this is only the third year in this area.
The third race. Yeah. Yeah. They wanted to do more in COVID. And so, yeah.
So that in itself is an amazing revelation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was a point I didn't think I was, gonna wake up. And now that I get to wake up every day, I want to live life at its fullest. I've been riding horses since I was 5, as I said. They are an integral part of who I am, just as music is. And horses have saved me over and over. Their ability to connect, and that's why they're used as therapy horses, their ability to connect with us and be a mirror for us so we can grow and get out of ourselves, get out of our own way. Because if you're in your head when you're around a horse, you can get hurt.
Okay.
They're dangerous. You can die easily. One misstep, and they're a 1,500-pound animal. We're this eensy little thing. So you've got to really be open and aware and get out of your head, get out of yourself, let go of the issues that are swirling in here, that are the stories you're telling, connect with them, and then you'll be able to release that crap that you've been carrying around.
So this is more than just a colloquial of of being present in the moment. You've got to be present the entire time you're on that animal.
Yes. They are incredibly sensitive. We think an emotion, and our body responds in a physiological manner, right? Neurotransmitters, we get tense or we relax. When we feel love, that's a frequency. When we feel anger, that's a frequency. They feel that frequency. If they feel our fear, they're going to think something's scary.
Okay. So when, this is just bringing up so many questions, so many thoughts in my mind. So when they have horses at, like, let's say the fair, mm-hmm. and the first thing that somebody does is goes up and pats them on the nose. What is your thought on that? I mean, I don't want if I meet somebody for the first time, I don't want to pat me on the nose.
Right. So something I like to do when I meet a new horse, even when I'm with my horses, I say, hello, it's great to see you today. Can I come up to you?
Okay.
Can I be in your space? They're prey animals. So they have to be essentially read the room, which is their environment, to be able to get away very quickly.
Right.
And we're a predator.
Right.
And they actually allow us to hang with them and create incredible relationships. It all comes down to the relationship. So you want to create a relationship with the horse. Like you said, not just come up. If I didn't know you, even now, I wouldn't say, hey, can I rub your nose? That would be really weird.
I'm glad of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's all about the relationship.
Yes. So that energy that you feel with the horse, and now, I know when I talked to you earlier that you mentioned that you're on 8 different horses in this race.
No, we'll probably do 4 different horses.
4 different horses.
I think we switch 3 or 4 times, depending on how long you go.
Okay. So you're getting on an animal that you are trusting your life with, that you have never met. Yep. And so your level of trust and their level of perception have to be synchronized.
Ideally, yes.
Okay. And so when you feel that synchronization, do you feel it more from the horse first, or is it an equal balance? I mean, this is so intriguing to me, and questions that I've not asked you before. So none of this is scripted. Yeah. Just as my mind begins to swirl, I'm like going off in 50 different directions. I got my pen in my hand. I can't let it go in case I need to write something down.
Yeah, so they give us really cool cues, and it's similar to us. When you feel tense, a lot of times you hold your breath, or you may not even be aware of it. A lot of people aren't. We hold our breath or we tense our bodies, and that creates a really consistent being of fight or flight state, staying in that state. When you can relax, your shoulders drop, you breathe normally from your belly, your body rests. When the horse relaxes, you can feel them tense. I mean, sometimes you sit on them and they're like a bomb ready to go off, and they will.
Okay.
So you manage your state, as Tony Robbins, manage your state. Be present, relax, breathe through your body. They relax, and then they lick and chew. So you can see they go.
Okay.
And that they're now receptive. They're in a more trusting state. They feel safe. So as a predator sitting on a prey animal, it's really our responsibility to put them at ease. And when I'm riding, there's a horse I've been riding now, and she looks around and sees a lot of things and gets worried about things. And I just say, I got you.
Right.
I'm here for you.
So your passion behind this, it goes deeper, and I really want to get into that. And then I want to circle back. one of the things that you said that you're passionate about, knowing the chemistry of the humanity and the chemistry of this amazing beast, but that they are a prey and that we are a predator, and that connection and how the healing. I understand that there are only two animals that produce oxytocin for humans
Mm.
and communicate it, and that oxytocin is then passed on. And horses are one of them. And
Mhm.
oxytocin is that calming, comfort hormone in our bodies.
Yes, the love hormone. Yeah, connecting more than just love, but connecting.
Right.
Yeah.
So your vision now in doing this. Why don't you share a little bit about that? Because that's what really what I promoted this as. It is the the effect that it's having on, and I forget how I exactly worded it, but on the forgotten that shouldn't be forgotten. And the forgotten that I'm talking about are our veterans,
Yeah.
are the people that go and give their life for our freedoms. They go and they make themselves available. They're really, I say that there's a difference between sending a mercenary and a missionary. A missionary goes and does a job that you would do. When you send somebody to do a job that you wouldn't do, that's a mercenary. And
Mhm.
and as we send others to do the things that we wouldn't do, and then we don't even have a clue of the plight they experience and the
Right.
constant, in brain health, there's this thing called brain reserves. And once you break your brain reserve and you have no more brain reserve, you can have two people that experience the same event currently, but
Mhm.
experienced different events before. And when they go into that activity, that same event affect one more than the other. And it's because their brain reserve has been depleted over a period of time. And then there's a breaking point. And this is what I see, this is why I was so intrigued by the the organization that you're involved with or
Yeah.
gotten involved with. So please share a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so a couple groups that I'm fundraising for, because really my deep understanding of how horses heal. Um, there are many groups that use equine therapy for autistic injury healing, all different kinds of traumas that we experience, and the horses lend their beautiful energy to help humans heal. For our veterans, our suicide rate is just atrocious. It's anywhere between, I think, 15 and 20 a day.
Yes.
A day.
Yeah, that's
A
so
day.
yeah,
I mean, think of 15 people standing in your house, gone
yeah,
every day. And they made the choice to defend us in terrible situations. Like you said, we wouldn't choose to do.
right.
Um, so I want to support these groups that help these folks heal. Men and women get to apply. They go to there's each group has a little different program, but they go and they work with horses. The one in Montana that I'm working with, Heroes and Horses, they put folks through a 41-day journey in the wilderness
Okay.
with these Mustangs, wild horses, and they go through. They've got special food. They do ice baths. They do sauna. All kinds of different challenges, which they all help meditation, yoga. But that connection with the horses is where a lot of the big shifts really occur.
So how did you get involved with what's the name of the organization?
So the one in Montana is heroesandhorses.org, and then there's one in Kansas City, and it's Horses and Heroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that slow for somebody like my
Yeah.
my is just running.
So heroesandhorses.org.
Heroesandhorses.org.
Yeah. And then the other, you just flip it, Horses and Heroes. I think they're .org or .com. Um,
and the "and" is spelled out, right?
Correct.
Okay. heroesandhorses.org. Okay.
Yeah.
So this organization works with these um,
Veterans and frontline workers. Mhm.
frontline workers, and it's a 41-day journey that changes their life. It
Yeah.
gives them their hope back.
Hope. Yeah. Yeah.
Their purpose.
Yeah, you can look them up on YouTube, and there's videos of some of the folks that have gone through it, and they were just, really one of those 15 or 20 that were they were on the edge, ready to go. And this program puts them in a much better place, gives them hope, right? Gives them, they're able to release some of the anger and the horror that they experienced, again, that we have really no clue of. A movie is one thing, reality entirely different. So that they can keep a job, their family stays together, pursue the life that they are here for.
Right.
They get a chance.
Right. One of the things that amazes me in the system, and I am not going to go on a soapbox here, but the awareness of understanding that if you gave anybody only 2/3 of the product to perform an activity or an event or a task, if you only gave them 2/3 of that, you're not setting them up for success. Okay.
Sure.
So the brain in a male is not fully developed until they're 27 years old.
Yeah, that'll.
And in a woman, it is not fully developed until they're 25 years old. And there's so much history behind this. I'm not going to argue with anybody over this. Just do the research.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I was so amazed at that because we're only equipping our arms with somebody that only has 2/3 of the equipment. You can supply them all the tools, but yet you're taking 1/3 left of their body, their brain. And the first third, at 9 years old, I experienced some things growing up that no 9-year-old should have ever experienced. But let's just say a good number of people, the first third of their life is pretty easy-go-lucky. I mean, until let's say by 7 years old. Once they go into the public school system and they start getting the bully and they start finding comparison. But you take that third left that's most impressionable, the last stretch of the race, so to speak, and now you expose them to death and bombs and third world countries and things that go on that are not visual, they're not seen. We don't know until we know, and then once we know, we can't.
You can't unknow.
And it's this is why when I'm talking to people and I'm telling them different things, and they say, "Well, Stan, you did that when you were young," but now I know. Had I known then, nobody taught me how to really know. They taught me what they wanted me to learn, but they didn't prepare me for these other things. And so, when these men and women go and they serve for our freedom, and then they come back, and a sad statistic that I heard is that 95% of Marines, that once they unlist, when they are no longer enlisted, in a short period of time, they forget about activity, they forget about exercise, they get overweight, they have high blood pressure, they have all kinds of things that are dealing with them rather than them dealing with the plight or the dilemma. So you're sharing 22 men, and I read that in late statistics that 22 servicemen a day are taking their life.
And we have ways to prevent this.
Right.
Not everybody can go through one of these programs. But there are equine therapy programs throughout the country. There are other animals, service animal programs, dogs. They help rebalance anybody. I mean, think about your dog, right? So there are a lot of different programs, and to just be stuck on meds and in a conventional system that the VA often, I mean, that's what they do. And the intention is good, the result is not there, clearly.
Right.
So there are programs that desperately need our support to allow these people to live the lives that we all have the right to, the
Right.
choice to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you would share a little bit about what your thought was and why you chose to include heroesinhorses.org. I mean, what was the real inspiration behind that?
Well, their message spoke to me. Both of the groups are really great. I reached out to a number of groups, and these were the two that actually got back to me quickly. So they're the ones that I went with. And I've spoken with both of them. I had the amazing opportunity to interview Micah Fink, the founder of Horses and Heroes. And hopefully I can go to their ranch this summer. Their message, it just aligned with me. And they get results. They do a post-event survey to follow up with their members. They don't just let them go back into the wild. They actually follow up. Is what you experienced actually helping? Which I think is, that's pretty amazing. So.
Very cool. Very cool. So you're doing this race, and what is the ideal outcome of what this race is going to do, not only for you, but for as a part of Heroes and Horses?
Well, I mean, hopefully I can raise a lot of money for them. They need funding support, of course. And the awareness, big one. I mean, I'll talk about it with everybody down there. This is an international race, so this is going to be pretty cool. There's people from all over the world who are doing it.
That's awesome.
And how else can we support these groups? That's one. For me personally, it's the pushing. When I push through the hard places, I come out, doesn't feel good, but I come out a stronger me, a better version of me. And because I serve clients, I hope to be able to bring back a better me to be able to serve even more.
Right. So what is the imagination that you have now that you've not done the race yet?
No, I leave in 2 weeks from today.
Is it too much to ask for you to explore what that imagination idea is as you prepare to go into this race, and then as the result of coming out of it?
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be scary. There's gonna be times when it's scary. I've never done anything remotely like this. I've camped, I've ridden horses, I've hiked, I've been in uncomfortable weather a lot this morning, in fact. But not all at once and for 10 days.
Okay.
So it's gonna hurt. It's going to be spectacular on levels I can't even imagine. I mean, we've been told that it looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. There are biblical winds.
The what?
Biblical winds, windy. It's incredibly windy.
Okay.
So am I going to have the right gear? I'm imagining the right gear. Have I trained enough? I don't know. People ask me, am I ready? I don't know, because a lot of it is, I don't know what I'm ready for, but that's partly why I'm doing it too.
Right. I think that's
sometimes when you go in with everything planned, what do you end up getting out of it? Then you're in that comfort zone.
Yes.
And you don't get to stretch your imagination. Like if the horse runs away, what am I going to do? I've already thought about that. What do I need to have on my body in case that horse leaves me to survive for however long till I can get another horse?
Right.
So all those are the things I'm imagining now. I'm also imagining smiling, galloping, and finishing, crossing the finish line. Not necessarily going to win. They say it's 80% luck, 20% rider decision to actually win this race.
Okay.
So I'm doing it with a girlfriend who we've been riding horses our whole lives together. And so if we can cross that finish line with all of our bits and pieces smiling, that's our goal.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that it's a major accomplishment that you already are at this place.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that. And you're stepping up and stepping out, not just for you, not what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm feeding a little too much here, but I see you stepping up into your game, not just for you, but for those that are needing another voice.
Yes. Both for those folks and for the horses that help them. Like it's a team. It's, we can't do this alone. I mean, we can, but it's not. There are many, many creatures that can help us, human and four-legged. So,
well, outstanding. So, as we bring this to a close, because I know we could go on.
Yeah, right.
Just what is it that you'd like the viewers to take away from this conversation, and how can we help support you in this venue venture and a lifetime of contributing?
Yeah. So I guess a couple of the messages. Don't be afraid to be afraid.
Okay.
Fear is part of the human experience. It's uncomfortable. But what is it? Joseph Campbell, go into the cave of the fears. I'm totally mucking it up. Face the fears, the cave and the treasures you will find, something like that. That was totally messed up. But
it's not messed up.
When you move through your fears, there's gold on the other side.
Okay.
You just got to keep going. I've got a quote here on my desk. Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Don't be afraid.
Very nice. Yeah.
So, yeah. And know that living that way you're so alive. It's just so exciting to fully step into your humanness.
I like what you said in the beginning. Don't die.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. So thank you for that. And so anybody listening, they could go to heroesandhorses.org.
Yep.
And
then my GoFundMe page is on my Facebook page, which this could be streaming in my Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know if we can post links here, and then
I am not positive on that. This is
okay.
Yes.
Everything's on my Facebook page. So if somebody's curious, they can.
And they can find you at Lori.
Yep, Lori Kaplan, Facebook.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
This way. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Is there anything?
Thanks so much, Stanley.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm honored to be an element in something that is so much bigger than anything that is brought to the public's eye, and bringing the awareness to your imagination and bringing that awareness, the awakening of that. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know until you do know.
Right.
And to decipher through all the garbage that's available, and then to see something so impactful of this organization and what you're doing, and your feet and your desire to stretch outside of the comfort zone, is what imagination is all about. And like you said, don't be afraid to be afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, all
All
right.
right. Thanks.
Thank you, Lori.
All right.
And we're going to end this here. All right.
Okay. Bye.